I've always appreciated not just that role, but also those who taught me. And I'm sure you can think of maybe a teacher you had in school, maybe even as far back as grade school or high school, that really meant something to you. There's a foreword in a book that I've read years after year, but the story in the foreword is a true story. You know, the goal of the Christian life many times, according to Romans 8:29, is to be conformed to the image of his dear Son. Paul, of course, knew that kind of teaching was better caught than taught, which is why I believe Jesus, you know, when he had his 12, he didn't say, "Listen to me," he said, "Follow me." You know, there was a time in my teaching when I had to have a paradigm shift in my thinking about the ministry and the teaching and so forth. And we eventually ended up homeschooling our children. But even when I was teaching in the Christian school, I had to realize that it wasn't just about smooth running activities, lesson plans, and you know, correct sermon outlines and things like that. But the ministry was about people that God has entrusted to us. And the story I'm going to just tell you real quickly here is a true story. A teacher who was in the school, and his name was Teddy Stoddard, and she taught him down through in grade school, of course, the first 6 grades. And she should have known that Teddy was headed for trouble. His grades were going down every year and so forth. And if he had gone down through the list and she'd have looked at all of the things she wrote up about him year after year, you know, she said the first year he shows promise in first grade, but he's a little slow. He could do better in second grade, but his mother is seriously ill. By third grade, Teddy's a good boy, but he's too serious. He's a slow learner, and his mother died this year. And then in fourth grade, Teddy's very slow but well loved, and his father shows, however, no interest in him. And so it came time for Christmas time when he was in 5th grade, or 6th grade, excuse me. And so Teddy brought his gift. All the children, you know, brought their gifts for the teacher. And his was just wrapped in a brown piece of paper and wrapped up with some Scotch tape, no Christmas, you know, paper or anything like that. And it just had the simple words written on it on a piece of paper for Miss Thomas from Teddy. And when she opened it, out fell the gaudy rhinestone bracelet with half the stones missing and half a bottle of cheap perfume. The other boys and girls began to giggle and smirk over Teddy's gifts, but Miss Thompson at least had enough sense to quiet them, and kind of led them to, you know, appreciate what Teddy had done by holding up her wrist and putting some perfume on it, and said, "Oh, doesn't that smell lovely?" And of course the other children then said, you know, "Ooh, yeah, you know," kind of taking her cue. And at the end of the day, when school was over and all the children had left, Teddy kind of slowly meandered up to the desk and told Miss Thompson, "You smell just like my mother, and her bracelet looks real pretty on you too. I'm glad you like my present." When Teddy left, Miss Thompson got down on her knees and asked God to forgive her. The next day when the children came to school, there was a new teacher there to welcome them. She had become not only a teacher, but an agent of God. She was a person now committed to loving her children and to doing for them what she could. But she was going to help them all, but she especially said, "I'm going to help the slow ones," and that, of course, included Teddy Stoddard. Of course, after he got out of grade school, she didn't hear from him until got a letter one day on her desk. It said, "Dear Miss Thompson, I want you to be the first to know I will be graduating second in my class. Love, Teddy Stoddard." 4 years later, another note came. "Dear Miss Thompson, they just told me I will be graduating first in my class. I wanted you to be the first to know. The university has not been easy, but I have liked it. Love, Teddy Stoddard." And 4 years later, "Dear Miss Thompson, as of today, I am Theodore Stollard, MD. How about that? I wanted you to be the first to know. I'm getting married next month, the 27th to be exact. I want you to come and sit where my mother would sit if she were alive. You are the only family I have now. Dad died last year. Love, Teddy Stollard." Well, Miss Thompson did go to that wedding and did sit where Teddy's mother would have sat. And why not? She deserved it to sit there because she had done something for Teddy that he could never forget. And missionary Warren Webster once said, "If I had my life to live over again, I would live it to change the lives of people, because you have not changed anything until you change the lives of people." And I'm just thankful for people, like I said, in my life. And I have a book, and it's called, some of you probably remember these ones, the Arch books. And I had this one. This one will be 60 years old as of this December, given to me when I was 6 or 7 by my first grade teacher in my church. And I'm sure she's in heaven today. Mrs. Goss was her name. And there's nothing inside the book except what she wrote on the inside front cover. The pages long ago fell apart. I taped them up for a while, but then they were gone. And one day I was on I think a garage sale or something, and I ran across the same book, with the same cover and everything, and I was like, oh, I gotta buy that. So I bought that book, and so I have a copy of it, but the one inside here says, Danny, Merry Christmas. I hope you learn to love the world God made. From your teacher, Mrs. Goss. And this book meant so much to me as a young person. Not because my mom and dad never gave me anything or did anything for me, Miss Goss did, but just because she kind of set my feet on the path she must have saw something in me and saw something that I loved, the world in which God had made. And of course went on to be a science teacher and so forth. But I'd just like to dedicate this song tonight to Mrs. Goss. I'm sure she's in heaven tonight. But isn't it great that we serve a God of the impossible? And a lot of times we say to ourselves, I could never influence someone. You don't know how much you're influencing perhaps someone. Maybe it's your own children, maybe it's somebody in your Sunday school class. But you're always influencing somebody for good or for bad. But we thank the Lord for the God of the impossible.
died for you.